welcome to Two Queens and Crystal Things,
Hey.
the podcast where we are on some manifest your life, shift your mind, and raise the consciousness type of shit. I am Mia.
And I'm Christy, and you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends. You know, for a little bit. We'll see.
Little something.
Little something. So first of all, I want to thank the contributions that we have had, that we've received through those who would like to support us through the Buy Me Coffee. Thank you for the money.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you for the gifts.
Sweet.
We appreciate that. Thank you. And again,
Awesome sauce.
we appreciate your support. Okay, so last episode we talked about the prosperous soul.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it actually mean to be prosperous? And prosperous can mean so many things, and people consider having money as being prosperous.
Yep.
But we're talking more about being prosperous in time and health and relationships, in understanding and wisdom and experience, like those type of things. Relationships.
In every aspect of your life.
Right. Because there are various forms of prosperity. So what are we talking about today?
So you guys, you know what we're talking about. I'm gonna start with the question. Have you ever noticed a tendency in yourself to minimize your own needs?
All the time.
This one I do. To not cause a fuss and keep the peace.
Yes.
At all costs. And that, my friends, can be an example of self-betrayal.
Yes, it is.
Some other signs that, you know, we may be in a pattern of self-betrayal. Saying yes when you want to say no. Y'all know,
Ooh, man,
you know that IG
that's
really
right.
said, what's that one guy? I love his voice. He says, you know, yeah, I do cuss a little bit. What's your favorite word? No. Because that seems to be one.
You all have a problem.
Yes. So when we want to say no, but we say yes. Ignoring our own basic needs and self-care.
Man,
Lying
this
to
episode
ourselves.
is for
Ooh,
me.
we're going to get into this lying to ourselves. Because, baby, not taking accountability for our own stuff. And then, you know, hell, pretending to be something that you're just not. You know, not being authentic to who you are. Those are all forms of self-betrayal. And, you know, we're going to talk just a little bit about that. What you think?
I live there, been there, probably have a t-shirt and a magnet
Okay.
with that on there. I feel like a good portion of my life is me not living authentic.
Ooh, yes.
But, I mean, this is my episode. So, when we're self-betraying, we don't love and accept ourselves for who we are. And with me not living authentically, I did that out of fear of what other people would think of me, how people would feel about me, not necessarily to just be myself. So this love and acceptance, man. Whew. But we are betraying ourselves in all kinds of ways.
So, I'm going to tell you, this is how this is what one of my biggest things was not taking care of my own needs, or not even expressing my needs, because I was too afraid that it wouldn't be met. And whatever I needed from somebody in a relationship, I would be afraid to really be honest about what I needed. I would only say what I thought they could give. Ain't that some shit?
Yep. Been there.
And look, I'm like, I got one even, you know, I will, this one is a rough one. You know how when you know somebody's lying to you, but you lie to yourself that they're not lying, because you don't want to deal with the fact that somebody's really just like, so I would make all type of excuses. You know, like literally make myself hear something that wasn't there, so I wouldn't have to face the fact that somebody I love was just literally looking at me in my face lying.
Oh, yes.
Right, you know, just but I'll tell you this. I think that when we talk about healing and we talk about forgiveness, we've done a couple of episodes talking about forgiveness, you guys. The hardest and most difficult for me, it was always easier to forgive other people.
Oh, it's always the easiest.
But baby, when I started realizing how much I had hurt myself, how much I betrayed myself, how much I did not put myself first. Look, Chris and I were just talking. I literally just had this moment. I was, just sitting here talking, thinking about some stuff in the past, and it just made me, and I realized, like, you really whole played yourself, just trying to. And then what we do is, and this is the real messed up part. While we're doing it, it's not just that we're lying to ourselves. It's just that we are lying to ourselves and justifying bullshit that we're doing to ourselves. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna lie to myself, but I'm gonna tell myself that what I'm doing is honorable and just because I'm doing it for love. I'm doing it to keep the peace. Like who wants to be a shit starter? I'm like, and when you
see, I have to say that actually comes at a level of really being mature, like spiritually mature, where you can see yourself doing that. Because I think in most cases, people would just be like, it is what it is. What? Next. But the fact that you can stop and just be like, I know what I do. I know my habits. I know my tendencies. That's huge.
Because we got to be honest with, you know what I mean? Like authentic.
Have to be honest. Yes, you have to be honest with yourself. And I will say that spending time with yourself, that meditation, and just really like going through those layers, that's.
And I mean, the other thing is, self betrayal makes you trick yourself into believing that you're a victim.
Yeah. Because if you do, because when you don't, say that you're a victim, or when you don't acknowledge that, then that means that you have to do something.
Ding, dang, dong. And if I'm a victim, that means somebody did it to me.
Right.
But,
And you never have to take accountability.
You guys, we do it so much. We, like, even outside of relationships, just think about how we self-betray ourselves in our careers and with our family. We put others before ourselves, and sometimes I get it. Sometimes like this isn't the time. Your child gonna go before you. Sometimes, but when you completely knock yourself out of the equation of receiving your own love to give it to somebody else, and being honest in hopes that it is reciprocated. When it's not reciprocated, we could say, "Oh, that's a bad person." But once you really get deeper into it, yeah, whatever. They might be what they are, and yes, it is there. And I'm not trying to say that people, won't take something like that for granted, and but when you start getting a little bit deeper and really like, let me really get to know myself, and you start thinking like, wait a minute, hold on, yeah, they did do that, but you knew that,
right?
Whole solid, knew it, and because it hurt too much, and all this is a delay of pain. When it hurts too much, like I don't want to do it right now.
D-O-P.
Yes.
Delay of pain.
I don't want to do this right now. This hurts so bad, and all we're doing is delaying the pain because at some point, when the shit hits the proverbial fan, and
which is going to do
always, because it's a lesson for us, right? And we get down to it, you're like, wait a minute, that hurt. It is still painful, but now the pain is compounded. Now we got to go a little bit deeper to, kind of dig that healing out.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we teach people how to love us. We teach people how to treat us.
And that is something that I've learned too. It's like, how am I going to be upset with you because this is what I have allowed
and accepted.
And at some point in time thought that I was worth it. And that is so connected to the whole self-betrayal. That was my marriage number one. That was true self-betrayal.
I would say, you know how, and honestly, this is something that I'm very much still working through understanding how the many ways I have betrayed myself. The only difference is now, like Chris and I just had this conversation, like what I have to do right now for me, it hurts like hell. But I just said to her, but I can't betray myself. I can't, like, I can no longer do it. I can see it about to come.
Right.
Like, and I can.
Yeah, but that's not what we do.
Wait, are my little feelings hurt? Absolutely. Your girl ain't all right now. But, I choose me. And when we start to see, I'm telling you, the one thing I love about human beings, we are master manipulators and liars to ourselves.
Oh, absolutely.
There is nothing like a lie to yourself. We work extra hard to make it happen because your body knows. Everything in you knows when you're not being authentic. And you do it anyway.
That's why I don't lie. Like, if I'm going to call off or something, it's like, oh, I'm sick. Nope, because I'm going to end up being nope.
Right, you're like, nope. And I think
That's not me.
People are and we're so brilliant with it, with our own mind manipulation.
Well, and that's the thing, too.
We justify it so well.
But that also should tell you, so that's on one end of the spectrum, how we can make ourselves believe anything about ourselves and believe it.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
on the other side, imagine how you can use that for good in your life, thinking of the wonderful things that your life will become.
Absolutely, Christy.
The type of people that you're going to attract into your life. So don't think of it as like just switch it. Just shift your mind.
Seriously.
Shift it.
So, Dolores Cannon, that quote where she's talking about, every disease in our body is from something that we, is mental, something we've done to ourselves. And like, just like you said, if you flip that, so if we can make ourselves sick, guess what we could do? We can heal ourselves. So when we're betraying ourselves, and you know what, I'm gonna tell you what even deeper with the issue is of betraying yourself. You aren't allowing yourself to grow and get this lesson so you can move forward. You are in purgatory. It's literally just sitting there, and the lesson is like, hey, baby, whenever you're ready to grab this, come on. But if we don't allow ourselves to be honest with ourselves about what we are doing and allowing in our life.
And can I say something? So I will say this spiritual, like, part of the basics of the spiritual journey is really being honest with yourself. In every single way.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, it's not like, there are some occasions where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm floating to like the 10th dimension. But, ultimately it's like, no, you are going through this healing process where you are working through your shit. You're really starting to understand yourself, and you're starting to just have this different perception for the world. It is amazing.
You guys, think about how...
That's self-betrayal.
I got one even...
Like you
think
said.
about how many times you wanted to try something. Well, I've done this. Wanted to try something new. Launched this business, Mia. And I have talked myself out of it, into it, out of it, sideways, over it. And I can make excuses, but in my head they're not excuses. I'm like, oh, well, I have to take care of this. I have to take care of this. But the truth of the matter is, you scared.
Like you say, ding, 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 ding.
Right? Like yes. For real, like, and
confronting
and
that shit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then to admit to yourself, I'm scared.
Right. And it's okay.
But now what? When you get to that point, you're like, now what? Okay, I'm scared. Now what am I supposed to do with this? you have to just say, what do you say, Chris? You say, do it anyway?
Yeah.
Be scared and do it anyway? And because then you have to start breaking down, what is the fear? Is it fear of judgment? Is it fear of failure? Is it...
Are you going to die? No, you're not going to die.
Right. But that is a form of self-betrayal.
Yep.
And how many of you all out there listening, this is real, get up every morning, go to work, and you can't stand your job, but it gives you stress, you hate it. It's like
but you still show up every single day.
Every single day. and you have an excuse and a reason. I'm not saying not because you don't like working. I'm saying this particular position that you're in. Mine, I had this one job. I'm not going to say the name of the company. I will never forget. I would jump on the train, and as we were pulling into the last stop, I used to get off on Randolph Street. I cried every fucking day.
What?
I hated it. And then so I would have to do so much to myself to be able to work, because you know it's like that. The Randolph Millennium Street station here in Chicago, like you go underground. Mm-hmm. So as soon as it was almost like as soon as we hit the tunnel and it got dark, I would allow myself to cry because can't nobody see me. So I'd be over there like, wow. And then so by the time we get out, by the time I had to walk up there, had my tears all wiped away. But my heart, I mean, I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this.
And how long did you do that for?
A year. I hated it so much. And then when I even allowed myself to be honest with myself of how much I hated it, I'll be pissed at myself. Because I'm like, honey, you making this good money. You got to take care of your daughter. You have to, and in my head, I know that it's not like I couldn't go get something else. Why was I doing this to myself? Yeah. It's almost like I felt like I deserved to be punished or something. It was so terrible.
That sounds horrible. But what's interesting is that there are so many people that are doing that now.
That's what I'm saying. How many of us are doing this?
People in relationships where they're not happy, they're with someone, and it's just like, why? Look, we both don't. You're sitting at this table eating a meal. We both don't want to be here, but we're here every single day at 5 p.m.
And why? The fear. This is where I think the fear really takes hold of people, because we have a fear of the unknown.
Yes.
Let's get the fear of the unknown. But really and truly, if we tap into your I amness, your divinity, what is the unknown? How can it be unknown if you create it? Ooh. So really what it is you're afraid to create your life. You don't know that you can create your life. Yep. So we feel like we just have to accept what we can get. Like, at least I have somebody. Girl, hell no. Absolutely. Nope. Look, I just got mad thinking about no. At least I have somebody. I don't want to be here. And then how do we justify the bullshit? Well, shoot. It's a lot of women out there who are single. They don't have a man. At least I got one, who's around, or at least I have a job. Yeah. Anytime, just for real, think about this. Anytime you are thinking about any aspect of your life and you are starting a sentence off with, well, at least I. Just listen to the words. At least I.
Right.
You already in a lack mindset.
That's true.
And we're not, be responsible, but know that you can be responsible and should be. It is your birthright to be responsible for your own life.
But then, okay, so for me, responsibility means accountability, which means you then have to do something about it. And a lot of people are they're not ready to do anything. They want something new. They want this new whatever it is, but they're not willing to do the work.
Facts.
And sure, yes, the universe is going to give us things will manifest in our lives, but it doesn't mean that there's something, because again, this is all an energetic exchange. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have to give something in return. For me, this is how it's been for me.
Chris, I'm so glad you said it's an energetic exchange, because y'all take it back to the law of attraction. Real talk. So if I am accepting this, making excuses for it, that really means that's what I'm creating in my life. I'm creating and accepting more of the behavior that that hurts me. I am accepting and creating day after day after day after day this more of the same. And it's like you just want it to go away. But if my mindset is, this is what I'm doing, and I'm just going, just let me get through it, it becomes more painful. And especially when, and this is the other thing we do, you guys. We, like I said, we are master manipulators, and we lie to ourselves more than we lie to anybody else. Yes. When someone, like, we teach people how to treat us, right? So when someone, You manipulate yourself and lie to yourself and allow somebody to treat you a certain way.
Done it.
And this is what we do. We, meaning I, because I have definitely done this.
I'm sure I have too.
I would make in my mind like I can't believe somebody would do this to me because why would you do this? So then I would make it that something like the mark of a character. I remember I used to say this. The mark of a person and their character is given the opportunity to take advantage of me or hurt me, you wouldn't do it because that's not the type of person you are. So then that again takes it away from me to say, why would you do this to me? But really and truly, when you get down to it, it's like, no, bitch.
You saw the sign.
Why are you doing this to yourself? Why is this okay for you to accept? And then when you start having that conversation and you start thinking, if I start having this conversation and my brain goes here and I'm aware and awakened to something, now I got to do something.
Mind.
I'm not ready to do anything, so I'm going to just shut up and keep lying to myself.
And pretending that you were living in your little bubble of ignorant bliss.
Into that damn bubble pop. And baby, and let me tell you something. That bubble pop is always on time, but it ain't never on time. Okay? It is always coming, but it's I'm telling you, it's always when you don't need it.
So let me ask you this. Do you think the longer you run away from, we'll just call it your healing journey, would you say it's more painful the longer you wait? Like, you know, when you're pulling that Band-Aid off, I'm the type, just pull the Band-Aid off because it's going to hurt regardless.
I don't think so. Yes and no, I should say. I think once you become aware of the fact that I gotta do me, I gotta figure me out, I have to heal myself, and you don't, what happens is you are awakened to it now. So when you don't do it, you're hurting yourself even more because it ain't a day that you don't wake up, that you're not walking, that your brain is and your heart is like, hey, excuse me, sis, you do know we know that we fucked up right now. We really need to help ourselves. So then what happens is that's how people, like for real, diseases. Hair thinning. Hello? Girl, I'm talking about, I was so masterful. I'm speaking from experience. I was so masterful at covering up my own pain. Because I have responsibilities. I have this to do. I have this to do. So many things to do. I have a child. I just don't have time for this. Which might all be true. But I always had a smile on my face. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't look like what I was feeling like. And my body was like, do this chick really think we about to let her walk around? Oh, okay. Girl, my hair started thinning like goddamn George Jefferson. And I'm just like, what's going on? Go to the doctors. They're like, no. I'm like, is it alopecia? Is it, all of this. And I did not, and then so now what happens? Now I'm really stressed out. Because my hair is thinning. I don't understand why. And I'm still not dealing with what I have to deal with because I'm so afraid of the pain. But now I'm a woman. I'm like, my hair, what's going on with my hair? Now it's multiplying.
And that is self-betrayal.
And that's self-betrayal. And because guess what I did? I created that. And because I consider, because I'm an Oscar-worthy Oscar-worthy actor, clearly. But my body was like, oh, don't worry, baby. So then now I'm like, okay, now I'm stressing myself out about the hair, which is causing other stresses in me. It just keeps, the cycle keeps going. And the only person that can stop it is you. Yeah. And I was the one who, and then, because I have a flair for the dramatic, I just can't take baby steps. No.
Okay,
I went from 0 to 100.
So how did you get to the point where you said, okay, I really need to deal with my shit because it's starting to manifest physically in my body?
It just went on and on and on for so long, and I just kept getting the nudge, like, come on now. And I just think, I remember exactly where I was too. I was sitting in the car at lunch. I went to Mariano's to go get me a little lunch, and I had just got off the phone, and it just hit me. I can't do this. can't continue to do this to myself. I am mad. I am angry. I'm pissed. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm all over the damn place. There's no place where I'm allowed to be authentic. I can't even know. And because I'm lying to myself, I wouldn't even allow myself to be authentic with myself. So, anybody, friends and family around me, they don't know what's going on because I'm not talking about it. Yeah. I'm just keeping it moving. Or if anybody would even get close to do it, I would change the subject. Like, I gotta go. I would keep myself busy just to not have to deal with it. And it just hit me like, I'm exhausted. Why am I doing this? Why? And I kept, and what took me so long is because I kept, victim mentality. Mm-hmm. I kept waiting for what I believed was the problem to come and be like, okay, no.
But it was
this motherfucker gonna be like that because you allowed it. No, you have to do it, and then especially when it's a relationship. Yep. And the messed up thing about it is now I have to deal with, man, like, was I not loved? Was I not worthy of love? Why would you do this to me? Like, I love you. And then you got to really start asking yourself and saying to yourself, but do you love you, Mia?
Exactly.
And of course I was like, of course I do. Really? Prove it.
Right.
Show me. Like, but okay, but the other day I got my nails done. No, bitch, that's self-care.
Exactly.
You know how to look cute, but do you love yourself? Thank you. But are you? Yeah.
And do you love yourself more than?
Come on.
This person, that thing,
that situation, that thing.
Right.
Do you? You are literally allowing yourself to
put yourself first.
Man, like allowing yourself to be in pain and hurt, physically ill, manifesting all these things in your body, and you got the nerve to say I'm telling myself I love myself. I don't even.
Aww,
and I would have argued.
She doesn't know what that means.
I really did. I had no clue. So mind you, now that's why I said that bubble gonna pop. And then when that bubble popped, of course, everybody, they looking at me like, this bitch done lost her mind. No, she gained her mind. And by then, now I got, it's like me standing up and you like, don't ask me shit. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. I'm going to figure this out. And no, I'm not talking to you about it because I don't know what the hell to say yet.
Right.
And then it's almost like I'm fighting myself because I'm so mad that it took me this damn long. And then girl, and that's when you start digging deep into that self-betrayal. Yeah. Girl, I start counting years. Like, oh my God, this was not months.
But I will
this
say,
was years.
But I will say with self-betrayal, that I do think we also learn that.
Absolutely.
We learn that from our environment. We learn that from our parents. We learn that from our siblings. We learn how to lie to ourselves and to actually accept that it's truth. You know, and so. Give yourself grace. As long as it takes you, or as long as it took you to get to that point, it's going to take some time for you to heal too.
And this is the thing. It wasn't. We're gonna keep it real with y'all. It's when you do finally say, I gotta do it. It's not like, okay, I'm good now. I'm on. No, you literally do this over and over and over. It's layers.
Yeah, it's
and
layers.
Like then you started, and you're like, okay, phew. Okay, now what I gotta do? Because now I done blew up the world. So now I have to
try to put shit together.
Right. Now I have to deal with the consequences of my actions. And then everybody, I got to deal with the consequences of my actions, and then figure out now what do I do.
And the thing is that once you reach to that point, you're like, I know on the outside, I just blew my fucking world up.
Come on.
But what I'm doing, this is what I need to do for me.
And let me tell you something. Your friends and your family, and oftentimes it does come from a place of love and care and wanting to help, but sometimes people are haters in your life. Accepting and seeing people that you love and care about, your family members, in your eyes hurt themselves. Like, why would you do this to yourself? And it is It's so, you know what I mean? And you're like, how do I say, I know what this look like to you, but I promise you.
So my response now is,
I'm healing.
Why is this your concern?
I had to do this. You know.
It's like, why is it your concern?
Oh, yeah.
What I'm doing to myself. If I'm happy, like, people make comments, oh my gosh, Christy, you seem like a different person. You seem so much happier. Well, I don't know what she's doing over there.
Minding my business.
Right. Doesn't matter what I'm doing
Absolutely.
over here. This is what I need to do for me. You mind your business. I'm minding my business. Continue to hate from across the street. You know?
And when I say it's layers to it, that's the first layer. And then when you start, like I'm talking about digging into it, you know, in whatever way you do it, going to therapy, journaling, like just really asking yourself, how, because I'm telling you what will happen. You will look up, and I'm speaking from for real experience, look up and realize that years have passed, right?
Years.
And you're like, how? How did this happen? And then when you start thinking back, you're like, I knew then. And I remember choosing. Like, baby, why? You knew then. Like, you were a foot out the door, but I convinced myself that what I was doing, like that, you know, what I was doing would be wrong and hurtful. And then, you know, you convince yourself. And then how dare you have an expectation, because your dumb ass turned back around again. Then you have an expectation that the person is going to stop doing with whatever it is that, you know, that they're doing. But now this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times that I have allowed the behavior. You can't control anybody,
right.
But I can control what I've done, and I can control my reaction. And why all of a sudden, you know, just because my little feelings are hurt, would you expect them to stop doing what they're doing? And then don't fuck around and have somebody gaslighting you when you even bring it up, and they're like,
no,
see, this was the problem with you. You insecure. Wait, what? Yeah. And now I got to deal with. You know, now you put a label on me that I've accepted. So again, betraying myself.
So now that you are unpacking all of this self-betrayal, which is a lot, because we've all done it. I know I have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Continue to do it. But let's talk about the lessons that you learn from going through this whole self-betrayal and, like, realizing it. There are some lessons that come out of it. And for me, like, my number one lesson was, I am worthy. I am worthy to show up for me. Why not? Like, why? Why not? I deserve it.
My biggest lesson, and y'all, for some reason, my lessons always come with something to do with my heart, and it's like I am a lover of love. I am that person. So of course all my lessons come in that way, because that's going to get my attention. Yeah. But there's a couple things. One is what I learned was that I was allowing society, and again, not knowingly, society, family, friends, expectations of other motherfuckers, somebody else's blueprint for my life and what I should be, and comparison, like, you know, this is like what everybody's doing, instead of creating my life. So I allow myself to have a finite view of what my life could be. And so if it's in here, everything should be fine. What's wrong with you?
Can I go back to
you got a husband, you got a baby, y'all got a house. What's your problem? And that's what, when I would have those moments, that's what I would be like, girl, stop tripping. But that's limited view. That's a lack view.
But you said something.
And I'm infinite.
I want to bring up again, because I did this. I feel like this was like the 2/3 of my life is living based on how other people expected me to live.
Girl.
Well, this is how you are supposed to show up here. And this is how you are supposed to be a parent. And this is how you are supposed to be this. And this is how you're supposed to be that. And so I was so busy trying to follow and memorize the steps that, you know, the choreography that these people are giving me, when it's like all this time I have the talent to create this dance by myself. All
by your whole self.
And it's actually better.
But you know what? And this is why, you know, as parents now, and I don't fault, you know, the generation before us for this. It's just stuff they didn't even know.
Right.
All they did was give us the playbook that worked for them. So we have to make sure, when you know better, do better. So we have to make sure that we, especially, you know, the parents out there, making sure we're parents, aunties, uncles, mentors, teachers, we have to make sure that we are instilling in the younger generation, in these children, that they are the master of their own fate, that they can create their life. And I got something better for y'all. It's about to be some mommies is mad at me. Y'all need to understand, our children are whole souls. Yes, it is our responsibility to take care of them, but don't put your life on that child.
Right.
Don't put your limitations
or expectations.
Now, y'all know we're not talking about, yes, they're expected to do their homework and all that stuff, but I'm saying the expectations for who you want them to be in their life, instead of giving them a blank sheet of paper, them pencils, and telling them you are worthy, you are valuable, there is nothing in this world that you cannot do. Here goes some paper, baby, tell me what you want, and let me support your vision for your life, not my vision for your life.
Right. Now, I agree with that, and that's one of the reasons why my son is in London. Because a lot of people say, well, how could you let your son go so far away?
That's where you wanted to go, baby.
Because why not?
And I love him, and I supported him.
Right. And I trust
why
him,
not?
and I know that he's going to have a great experience, and I know that he's going to learn things that he wouldn't have been able to learn being here. But I also want him to live his life for him and not for me. Come on. Because I did that.
Yeah.
And I know how hurtful it can be.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, if that's where you want to go.
And and the other thing, you guys, for real, is when we allow our children to live their lives for themselves, when things go wrong, they learn how to cope and fix it and strategize and solve. But when they're living their life for you, anytime some shit go wrong, guess who get a phone call? You. Fix it. This your shit.
Oh my gosh, Mia, when you said that, I never thought about that. So my son, who's in London, that's one of the reasons why he's in London. Because I feel like in his academic career, he struggled because he was an artist. So I always stepped in to try to help him get to the next step. I always stepped in. I was emailing teachers. Like, I think I even had like a template that I would just copy and paste to teachers. No, seriously. About, his homework, and they know how to get a hold of me, and if they would make any amends, and if there was something that we can do to make sure he can get, half of the credits or whatever. I was constantly stepping in. And it got to a point where he got so accustomed to me fixing stuff that I felt like I was crippling him. And I had to, and it was hard, I had to learn how to let go. And so with him being in London, for me, it's good because it's not so easy for him to get home. When when something's hard, or when something, when he needs to problem solve. I mean, although I think it was his first week, he called me and he was like, the dryer broke. What do I do? My clothes are wet. You're going to have to do like we did in old school. Air dry your clothing. Get some clothing pins. Hang it up. He had to learn that. I mean, of course, he called me because he didn't know how to do it. But I honestly felt like I was crippling him. So I was like, okay, you go far. If London is where you want to go, let's do it.
And you know what? I love that, because that's really, truly you being honest with yourself about who you are. And that's why this summer I'm sending Jade away to camp, because I'm going to tell you, I have to be honest with myself. If I'm there, if she needs some help or different, when she can, it takes everything in me to say, you figure it out. Because I know how to do it. It's going to be quick. And it takes everything in me. So I have to create opportunities for her to get that, it's like that confidence muscle built up.
Yeah, but the really great thing,
but you got to do it.
Right, but the good thing is that not only is she building her confidence muscle, but you are too.
Girl.
Because as parents, we're like, well, no, they need me.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just a phone call away, but it's like they will be okay.
Do they need you, or do you need them?
Right.
Because a lot of times, don't get mad at us, y'all. A lot of times, and we know everybody knows somebody like this, and you might, if you don't know a friend like this, that means you're the friend. No, I'm like, if you don't know a friend like what I'm about to describe, you're that friend.
It might have been me.
Sometimes we need to be needed, because that's how we assess our value, by how we're needed. And let me tell you something. That's another form of self-betrayal.
Yes, that was me.
Because again, you're looking outside of yourself to decide what your worth and value is.
And so think about it. Think about
and
how many
leave,
mothers. I know, and my friend, like, she invested so much time and energy. Not to say that you shouldn't invest in your son, in your child, but they became her world.
Her world, exactly.
Her world. And then when this child left, she didn't know what to do with herself. And that's one of the reasons why I said, okay, I need to find some shit to do. Some shit, like, get some hobbies, do some. Look, I'm about to learn.
Let
how to
me
play
start
tennis.
now.
Right. I'm about to learn how to play tennis. I'm about to do this. Because one thing that I'm not about to do is get depressed because my child is away and I don't know what to do with myself.
And then parents get sad. Why aren't they calling me? Why aren't they texting me? And these kids just learning how to live their own life, and we make it about us sometimes. A parent will make some stuff like it's not. You did your part. You got your baby out your house. We have to trust again. Trust in ourselves. We have to trust that everything that we have done and instilled in these children what is enough for them to get through. Now, if something hit the fan and they like, I help.
That's why we're here.
But you're gonna start. You're gonna try. You're going to, you know what I mean. You're gonna, whatever it is that you need to do for yourself, because you gotta build that muscle. It's literally, you have to. And then this is the dope thing, because I even remember doing this in college. Once I started one little problem, I figured it out. One little problem, figured it out. Then all of a sudden, I'm feeling damn good about myself. Like, I got this. But if I didn't try and go through the pain, why is it so much easier for kids to be scared and do it anyway? Why do we lose that as adults?
Kids,
you know what I'm saying?
Like they have nothing to lose. I guess as adults, we feel like we have things to lose, like our reputation and what people think of us. For those of us who still care what other people think. But I feel like as you're an adult, you kind of get tainted in a sense.
I love that you're right. We do. Adults will feel like we have something to lose, and so we do. We close the fist and hold on tight. And we've said this before. You have flow is what we have to learn how to do. I open my hand because how can I receive more if my hand is closed? Exactly. But we're so scared about the little pitlins that we have because we have a limited view of and potential of what we can be and who we are, the wealth we can have. But it's like, okay, I got this. The first time
I told my ex-husband that.
The first time I really started making some money, I was like, woo! Like, let me hold on until this, like, I don't want to lose this, as if, like, baby, you worth 4, 5, 10 times more than that. But, like, and so we stay there and think about how many, again, this is going to hurt a couple of y'all feelings.
It may hurt me.
Think about how many times, think about a time in your life when you have, got a promotion or did something you've been wanting to do for so long, and you've never moved past that point because you had your tight fist holding on to it. Like, I did it, I'm gonna hold on here. That's not how you got there by holding on. You didn't get there by holding on tight. You got there by allowing yourself to work through it. But then we have this number, a goal in our mind, and we're like, oh, please. You're gonna suffocate. People do that in relationships. They do that in their careers. They do that with money. And then now you've been at this same promoted position for the last 10 years,
right?
Because
you've missed other opportunities.
Because you're afraid of, and that is, and
that's
so
the truth.
When we do that, what we were telling ourselves is, I got lucky. I don't deserve this. Right, Brantley. I got lucky. I don't deserve this. So let me hold on to this, as opposed to saying, of course, why wouldn't I get this? I deserve this because, and more. So let me keep doing me. Let me continue to build my confidence muscle. Right, little baby. Anyway.
So,
what's your takeaway, Queen?
My takeaway is to never underestimate yourself. And don't be reactive. Like, just take a moment to pause and to really assess yourself. And ask yourself, am I self-betraying myself? Ask yourself that question. But yeah, I think this is more than a takeaway, but it is time for us to really be accountable to ourselves. We deserve it, and we are worth it.
Yep. I would say, yeah, real talk, this is an easy one. Stop lying to yourself.
Yep.
Like, let's stop lying to ourselves about who we are. Stop lying to yourself with this limited view and lower value of who and what you are. We have to, when we know that we deserve better and more, we don't have to accept anything.
Right.
But then again, you know, the other thing is, real quick, y'all, that also means you got to start liking yourself. Be okay with you.
Yes.
Some people stay in situations because they don't want to be with themselves.
Man, there are so many exes that are floating through this episode. Gee whiz.
Gee willikers.
But no, that's true. You know, you keep hopping from one relationship to the next. You don't have to spend time with yourself. You don't have to face yourself in the mirror. Because you're distracted, essentially. You're distracted from dealing with your own shit. And honestly...
Who was I just talking about before? That part.
When I say the exes are flowing through here...
Man, look. And I said this before, like, I'm telling you, when you for real, like, when you for real learn to love yourself and being yourself, self-betrayal is like it's blaring and loud.
Right, and it's offensive. It was like,
what? I can't even believe I thought that. Like, wait, absolutely
you thought I was gonna self-betray myself?
What?
You thought I was gonna betray myself and cry over you?
No, absolutely
run
not.
Back to you.
Oh, y'all done fucked around and let me figure out how to love on me?
Oh. Because once you
and that's why this journey's so beautiful, because baby, that right there,
it's hard to go back.
You can't.
It's hard.
You
to
cannot.
Go back.
No. How?
It's
self-betrayal. Like I said, it is layers, and it just keeps going into more. And when you like yourself, you start feeling yourself, then you love yourself. You're like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm actually in love with me. Oh my God.
More than you.
Where you been, girl? That's literally how I felt when I was like, where have you been? Oh my goodness, we love us.
And think about all this time you've been pushing her away.
How dare thou?
I don't have time.
How dare thou?
And we've all done it.
Because we were scared.
Right. I've done it too. We've all done it. Pushing yourself away from yourself. Not even taking the time to accept how dope you are. Just how amazing you are.
Wait, you know what this reminds me of? Okay, all my church people, you know how the end of the service or some point in the service, they're like, you know, all the souls that want to be saved come up. Mm-hmm. I literally remember being like in my 20s, being in church, and I would feel like I wanted to go do it, but I was afraid to you know, let me go up and go be one of the saved souls. Not because of what I thought anybody was thinking, it's because I was afraid of what I was going to have to give up. And I knew I couldn't lie to God. I'm talking about this is 20 some years ago. So I'm like, I'm not ready, because that means I'm not going to be allowed to do this or say that, and I'm not about to sit up here and be lying to God. So I'm not going to go, because I had so much fear of what I had to release and let go of, and I wasn't ready in my head. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, I understand that's what that reminds me of. But when you really get into yourself and heal yourself and just really just get it loving on you, it's like the stuff that you were afraid that you were going to have to let go. You're like, I can't believe I was walking around carrying a trash bag.
Yeah. And not to say that it won't. Sometimes it does hurt. Sometimes you can walk away unscathed and you are fine. And then sometimes it does hurt.
Oh, but when you get... Like when I say it's worth the effort, you are worth the effort, because when you finally put that trash bag and walk away, oh my goodness, I love that trash bag. I'm full of shit. And then you get away from it.
Smell this good.
Right, like, oh my god, what is that lovely fragrance? Is that me? This is how I smell. You know what I mean? Like, what's gonna make you go back and pick up that bag of shit now that you know who you really are? Man, you are worth it.
Yes, you are worth it. Ooh, that was our takeaway.
All right, y'all. Look, that was everything. A takeaway, the message. We love y'all.
Okay, so quickly, we got golden apatite for the crystal. It is an ally to employ all aspects of creation manifestation work. It also helps you to connect with divine will and to understand how to manifest divine will through action in the world.
Yes.
It can assist one in overcoming self-imposed limitations which prevent you from taking action. And also the frequency of this crystal helps to release blockages in the solar plexus, which, you know, deals with self-identity, which may limit one's acceptance of abundance or prosperity. So that's cool. Element is fire. Chakra is solar plexus. Affirmation for this crystal is: I call forth my rightful clarity of mind, strength of purpose, and success in creation and manifestation. Bam!
Ooh, I like that.
Claiming it.
And I like golden appetite.
So I've never worked with it.
Don't you have some golden appetite in here?
I have smoky quartz.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all something. If I look over in Christy's crystal drawer and see some golden
promise
appetite, I'm going. Ooh, Christy, you gonna get it?
I promise you, I don't have it. I promise. Okay. Thank you all for listening. To
We love y'all.
Oh wait, is there a message for the day?
That girl, we just did that.
My bad. We're not gonna edit. So. Thank you all for listening to Two Queens and Crystal Things. Be sure to review us on whichever platform you're listening. I get messages. Someone's like, oh, I reviewed you guys. I was able to find the reviews. So thank you all for doing that.
You guys
also,
are
if
amazing.
you have questions, you can email us at info@twoqueensandcrystalthings.com. Follow us on IG. Also follow our personal pages, Wings Unleashed 444, Christy R. Edwards. And also, if you would like to contribute to our podcast, thank you very much. You can support us by buying us coffee. The link is on the bottom. Thank you. Light, peace,
love, and soul. We love y'all. Talk to you next week.